What it
Hey,
do?
welcome, everyone. Hey, second episode of Deep in the Deposit with
Ah,
two hosts.
load shedding.
Hey, load shedding,
Load shedding.
Load shedding,
It's your host, Banana.
and Senshi.
Welcome back to the second episode.
Yep, yeah, man, you've been well.
I've been chilling, man. How have you been, Senshi?
Okay, bro.
I've been the definition of chilling in Africa. It's not very...
Under the
it's
warm
not
sun,
very-
despite that it's winter.
You know, I mean...
Oh, ish.
I know, but very, very chilling, man. How have you been?
I've been okay, man. I just been observing the world around me. Yeah, a lot happened in the time before.
Load shedding.
Load shedding, a whole lot of it. Yeah, we need nuclear power, but that's a topic for another day. Now, from our previous topic, dog.
Speaking of,
how these institutions have failed us. I remember you raised the topic of NSFAS.
Yeah, dog. It came from watching like Carte Blanche like episode where they were like doing an investigative report in NSFAS and like their failings, you know, what they've been doing, you know, how they've been using the money, why NSFAS has been failing, you know, all these years, and it kind of got me into you know, the fact that we're speaking about that institutions that are put in place to protect us are the same institutions that fuck us up at the end of the day. And we sort of like rely on them, and we just like look at them and be like, oh yeah, well, there's this, so I'm good. There's the post office, so I can just write my letters, send them to the post office, and the post office is going to deliver. But do I want the post office to take accountability of my letter?
If ever it doesn't deliver, no, I hear you. And you know, with like NSFAS, right? It's like an enormous budget that is thrown out every single year for these people, and how it's distributed, how it's allocated. Sometimes I always feel that, is it completely utilized? But that's just something else that comes to my mind, because I think it was in 2019, if I have my facts right, that it was almost over 20 billion that was sent to NSFAS.
That's a lot of money.
That's quite a lot of guap that was taken out. That it was 10 billion that was sent into the NSFAS funding. And how it's allocated is like so. So each institution has its own head that runs NSFAS. So like in my institution, it was like D-head, right? So D-head would be the one that the SRC would go negotiate with to say, hey, we want our students to have 5,000 booking allowance. We want them to have 1,000 in food. We want them to have social and social accommodation, this and that. Now where they start failing,
Distribute the money, basically. So that's what the D-head does. Distribute the money for all the students in that particular institution. So if you're at vets, you must know that you are going to have your department that deals with your guys' NSFAS and how much you guys are getting, how much goes to accommodation fees, how much goes to tuition. You have to sign a contract to that.
You see?
I got you.
And now, when that is the case, right, that's where a bit of the corruption comes in, because why would it have to be negotiated, upping, increasing and stuff like that when there's like a budget? You get what I'm saying? So, for example, they give the department maybe 10 million. Just a quick example. Now there's 10 million and they decide, okay, we'll just utilize 5 million for this year. What happens to the other 5? Does it go back? Why does it not help, historical debt? Or is it just stayed there and they're like, let's wait for the SRC to come fight and want more money?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But you think about it, like, because if the SRC comes, says, hey, we want more money.
Yeah, what's up with that 5 million?
What's up with that extra 5 million? Oh, we want now to increase kids getting 1 rand to 2 rand on food. You understand? And then with that being said, it also moves over to that poor administration. Now
it's very bad. It's really bad, because I can tell you now, based on personal experience, that administration bullshit, you can sign a contract and not know the effect of that contract deep in that year. Or in the next year, you only find the consequences the next year. Now, is it my fault that I didn't read the contracts? Yes, partly. But what does it say about your administration as an institution that I depend on in varsity as a child that is black and who is forced to displace poverty so that they can access this little fund of yours? What things do you have in place for me to not be fucked over.
Yeah.
And not be caught, blindsided at the end of the day.
Yeah. Now that does make sense, because another part of the poor administration that I am aware of when it comes to the NSFAS funding is how and who gets this funding. Right?
Beneficiaries.
The beneficiaries. And with the beneficiaries, it comes to that point where it's quite limited. So for example, what they said now, previously in the new NSFAS policy, is that they want to now start fishing out certain courses that do NSFAS, like teaching.
My bro, chill, bro.
Nursing, first year. Logistics.
My bro, chill.
Because, okay, South Africa is a developing country. It's growing. There's still infrastructure. We're going to build a new school maybe.
Wait. Please repeat that. So you're saying...
Now, here's what they're doing. They are saying for first year students.
Yeah.
Who do teaching, nursing,
and
logistics. Those are one of the top threes I know.
Uh-huh.
They will not fund them.
That's first year.
That's just first year. Now, who's going to fund you for your first year? But you'll get funding second year. Like, you see that? It's like, all right, you'll find a boat in the middle of the ocean. Swim there. Good luck.
I don't know how you're going to get there.
I don't know how you're going to get there.
I don't know how you're going to get there.
You'll find a boat there. You get what I'm saying? Swim there.
Find us there.
If you make it,
if you're serious enough about it,
you can swim through, beat the sharks, and you'll make it there. Yay. And we will support you. In South Africa, teaching is something very vital. Schools are still being built.
Are they saying we have enough teachers?
That's what they're saying. They're saying it's that saturated. Are they saying we have enough nurses? Here's a pandemic. There's a crisis. There's an overflow of people going to hospitals. Now they must explain to me and look us in the eye.
Apparently,
say, hey, we got enough people
during
to
this
handle.
pandemic, isn't it that hospitals are taking a burden?
You see?
And isn't that because of
the lack of nurses, the lack of infrastructure? Here comes logistics, where my part logistics is saying not them. That person who studied logistics is the same person who needs to be able to
make sure that the hospital runs properly,
can deliver ventilators, can transport patients there and there.
Yes.
Who does that?
Yes. So they're saying,
yeah.
If I can get you, what you're saying,
yeah.
Clearly. They're saying, hey, these things we've regarded as essentials for the longest part in South Africa and in our education system.
Mm-hmm.
We've regarded education as one of the priorities.
Yeah.
When it comes to education, in so that we can fund anyone wanting to do education through NSFAS. We can fund anyone wanting to do nursing or anything related, I would assume, using
medical-wise,
NSFAS for that first year, and logistics, which we have found to be one of the essentials.
Because we still even transport commodities and raw materials in this country.
But how good are we at it?
You see?
It's very bad. It looks like it.
Still,
I don't know.
And they say, hey, we don't need to work on that. So
and they say, and basically that's what they're saying.
May the gold fall off the road.
They're saying
we've got enough extra.
We have enough teachers.
Yeah.
The teachers that we get from Zimbabwe is enough. The teachers that we have here are enough.
Enough. Do you see what I mean? You see what I mean?
The nurses that are taking strain now because of this pandemic are enough.
And when you raise the fact that we have teachers from Zimbabwe, even our local clinic here, now we have so many foreign African doctors who everyone complains that they basically just do not care how they treat you.
Is that what people are saying?
Hey, gee, so you hear what people are saying that, hey,
oh my goodness,
it's so just bad. Do not care how they treat you, how they administrate their work, so on and so forth. So you're like,
I've heard that about like some white doctors, like some black people don't prefer using white doctors because like, I don't know, this woman just doesn't care, like she just doesn't understand, she's just there trying to inject me, she just like doesn't think about whether or not I have allergies as like a black woman. I've heard like friends who've said that about like female doctors, male doctors at the end of the day. But nonetheless, like, speaking of this NSFAS bullshit, like bull crap, right? I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Nonetheless, it's a guise for me. Like, it's just disguised. Like, it's they're saying we're capable of free education.
That's exactly what they're saying.
They're saying we're capable of free education, but we're not. We're just going to give you guys this idea that you guys don't have to really work that much for education, and there's a loan in place, or a bursary as they call it now, in place for you to study, and it's through the government, and it's through taxpayers' money, and it's sort of free in quotation marks, it's like
because
free.
they placed it as free because now you don't have to pay them back, you just have to work for the country, and that's how you're going to send your money back. In other countries like Norway, I like making an example of Norway.
Yeah.
Varsity education is free, whether you're a local student or an international student. You know what you have to do? You just have to get accepted.
That's is valuable information.
You just have to get accepted. So if you want to study for free, you go to Norway.
This is
you
valuable.
Just get in there. You're like, I want to do medicine at Norway. You come back. You're like, I did it for free. They pay for everything. Dorm, like your textbooks, everything.
Norwegians are quite good at English.
They're quite fair at English. It's a small country, it's a very rich country. It's got everything intact. The HIV rate is extremely low. Medical care is very high.
Sorry, did you say the HIV rate?
HIV rate is extremely low in Norway.
Oh my goodness, only a South African fucking...
Yo, you won't believe it. Their medical system is very good.
What's our HIV rate?
Yeah. AIDS bad, dog. AIDS bad.
God damn, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's high. It's high.
Yeah, but I mean, if you consider the historical, like, background of HIV and AIDS and what it was made for, I mean, you can understand why the rate is so high in Africa.
That's why the rate is so high in Africa.
But okay, the HIV rate is low in Norway.
Yeah, so in Norway
it's good to know. Valuable
low.
Information,
so,
bro.
I think we'll right now, Lost Brook, make sure that people don't be banging around. But
Olegana sauce.
But anyways, what I'm saying is,
yes,
that's what happens. Other countries are able to give free education. I believe even Finland, and those are small countries, but we have more money and I think quite a slightly higher GDP than them. How do we not have the ability to do that? We need more people to actually fill our industries in this developing country to do so.
Because we do have the people.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in Norway, their biggest industry is fish. It's fish. Yeah, we need fish, but it's fish farms. They just fish a lot. What do we have? We have mineral resources. We have gold. We have all the mineral resources that we can. Despite the fact that, hey, it doesn't belong to us. That's just another topic for
this guy's like besides the fact that it doesn't belong to us.
Well, it belongs to us, but it was sold out, and hey, that's just another topic.
Please, let's speak about free education.
Yeah.
Because, South Africa, dog. Fuck. We should be getting free education.
We should be getting free education.
For me, the fact that we're so oblivious to the constitution that we so much hold in high regard, right? We always speak about the rule of law and what the law means for us in South Africa, but for the fact that they can say in the constitution, whatever section, that everyone has a right to free basic education from the jump.
Yeah.
If we are saying that, because in South Africa the standard is IEB, right? For most of the better part, a lot of people have been sending their children to IEB schools because they have believed that IEB standard of education is a good sort of foundation, and going forward, this whatever, it's very good education to take your child to the next level.
Yeah.
Insofar as getting them to varsity. From intermediary phase to
the varsity section.
Varsity part of it as well.
Yeah.
So for me, have systems in place.
Exactly.
Have IEB throughout.
Yeah.
You can't have a division. You're gonna have a division of standards, education. That's that classism shit.
That's how it works, and that's how it actually keeps segregating
that's
us.
That's that segregation shit still. What have we won then?
Yes. And another thing about the free education is some people like to raise that debate saying that, okay, who deserves it? I think every black child. Because just because this black child comes from a well-off family and this one comes from an unfortunate family, that child's money is not really his money. It belongs to the parents. If the kid was wealthy, well, he would pay for his own fees because the money is like made from him.
If we're really saying that we're not discriminating, if we're really saying that this constitution is the best in the world, and it's one that promotes non-discrimination,
Yeah.
then everyone is entitled to it.
Everyone is
Don't matter your
entitled to it.
status.
It
You're
doesn't
entitled
matter.
to free education,
Everyone.
whether it is primary education, secondary education, tertiary education. You deserve that shit.
You deserve it either way.
Because at the end of the day, that shit's gonna benefit the country. We're striving for a more holistic approach in bettering the country.
Exactly.
Are we patriots? What the fuck are we? You know, like, does it even matter? Like, why are you even contributing? Why are you even a part of a society?
And you see, at the end of the day, when all of us have studied, we all confluence into one economy. And we're all going to contribute the same. You could, in the workplace, I guarantee you, there is a person who went to Kavovo school,
Yes.
became an accountant,
Yes.
and is crunching those numbers.
Yes.
And there's one who came from St. Mark's, who became an accountant, and is crunching those numbers. We both are crunching those numbers.
Because we're all capable. It doesn't matter if I went to, like you said, Hambuzubu.
And he went to St. Mark's or St. Anthony's, and that's what happened. Because at the end of the day, so why doesn't the primary level become the exact same thing? Because
The standard remains the same.
And then the government will so, like you say, holistically make education free from the get-go with the quality. So it's quality education that we'd like to have.
Much like
free
Norway.
education.
Yeah,
much like Norway.
Quality and free education.
Because they even welcome, what country would welcome a foreigner to study for free in their land?
Yeah, bro.
You get
I
what
mean,
I'm
I
saying?
told you that I that's valuable information. I need to be on that.
Yeah.
I need to be on that.
But then, another topic that is just thumping me now because of free education is now the township, being a concentration camp. Get what I'm saying? I remember you raised this the other day, like, I think the township is a concentration camp.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah, it makes sense because firstly we're squeezed. Despite how it may look, despite that there are some parts of the Kasi that have that suburban look, they're still squeezed.
Mm-hmm.
We're still squeezed. Some parts of the Kasi are even cramped even more.
Yep.
But the thing is about the township is that it's one whole region accommodating so many people. One small region as compared to the suburbs where it's one large region accommodating few people. You understand? And as it being concentration camps, there was a purpose for us being squeezed into one area far away.
True.
The biggest one that I think, that I know actually, is the accessibility of drugs. Now, why do I say this? You see, you and I, Greg, you could just be next door my house. It's easy for me to talk to you. I can just simply put my head over the fence, like, yo, banana.
What's happening, Sensei?
Banana. And you're like, hey,
Yeah,
Sensei,
we're
like,
neighbors.
what are we doing? Like, we talk. And I'm like, yo, man, I need a snow. And they're like, I know a guy. Hold on. Then you just go to the back of your house and like, hey, it's Jojo. I need snow. And that's it. Well, in the burbs, it's not easy for people to even communicate with themselves. It's not easy for things to just cycle.
Circulate like
And
that.
so when someone ever needs a form of drugs, they just simply say, okay, I think we can get it in Jaws or Santon or wherever. You have to talk to
We're
this
gonna have
guy
to call.
and go there.
I know a guy.
Who knows a guy.
Who knows a guy? Who knows a guy?
Take you the whole day, and then when you're like, you know what? So that's what stops them from actually having access to these things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so even alcohol, it's easy for a young boy to see someone drinking
In the Gussie.
in the Gussie,
Than it is for them to see a person drinking
in the burbs. The only person they'll see
that,
drinking is their parents.
I would see that.
You understand? And sometimes the parents can have a strict rule like, we won't drink in front of our kids. Then that kid can grow up a very long time without even knowing what on earth is alcohol.
Yeah.
But here in the Gussie, a 5-year-old will just simply go outside and see more than 10 people holding a bottle of alcohol.
Easy
coming home
walking.
intoxicated. Easy walking, easy, rolling up, easy taking a drug, so on and so forth.
Smoking, that
Smoking,
wine.
just walking
influence.
past them, and you end up finding them even playing with that bottle.
Yeah.
That's just right there, just right next to them.
I'm glad you raised that up, Senshi, because like you said, right? I did bring that up. Like, I did reference the concentration camp because, I mean, I'm not fascinated by Jewish people. I did history in school.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm fascinated or anything. I mean, I did history in school, and part of that was learning about that German history, right? And when you see what the Germans did, to the Jewish people then, and the concentration camps that they built, right? If I'm not mistaken, most of them now that were concentration camps are like, okay, whatever, they're grave sites. Some are like turned into museums, but they're like sacred spaces as reminders for them what,
this is where we come from.
This is where we come from. This is what happened to us. They tried putting us in these little places. Now, I'm not saying that during apartheid in the logishis, in the townships, that is, they were doing, as bad as what the Nazis were doing to the Jews then, in terms of like the brutality of it. It might have, it wasn't that brutal, but I definitely think that there were concentration camps because they passed like fucking laws, bro, to segregate people, to make sure that they still take people over to like, different townships, spread them out, divide them in those townships. I think one thing you raised as well in spreading us out was, how far we are from the metropolitan city itself. So the whole aim was definitely concentration camp like, and that's why I was like, I can be from the Gussie and be proud to be from the Gussie. But am I happy that I'm in the Gussie? Am I happy that the Gussie exists? I don't know.
You see,
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm comfortable with me and my neighbor sharing the same wall space.
Yeah. Because that's what happens in the Gussie. We're practically sharing a wall.
I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that, bro. And I'm not sure if my mind can go about accepting that and saying, this is normal for us. This is normal for a person growing in the township. If I had a child or whatever, I would be like, oh yeah, my child is also growing up in the Gussie.
Yeah.
Much like this. This is us. This is Gussie living.
This is how it is.
I'm embracing this. This is how it is. How far deep in their minds has that torture that was done through the Land Act or whatever, now we're feeling all the after effects. We're still in the Logishi. We're still in the Logishi today.
It's still existing. And it's still thriving, that system.
And what do we have? Lokshin culture? not a reference, it's a reference to the culture. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Now it's Lokshin culture. Now it's Gussie
marketed. Now it's embraced. Now it's growing.
Exactly.
And it's being developed. And a lot of people are like to say, why
don't
we move to the Gussie? Why don't we build the Gussie? Why don't we develop? It's like, you see, you don't understand.
How?
We're developing an apartheid
system.
And its purpose behind it. There is a purpose behind the township existing. There is a reason why the Gussie exists. It's not something to be embraced. It's still an apartheid factor. It's still an organ of apartheid.
Bro, it's like the crumbs. Even if that dog is not even the crumbs, I swear it's like half of the bread.
Yeah, it's just...
I swear it's not even the crumbs, bro. It's like half of the bread. I swear. The Gussie is
not even half of the bread, dog. It's just the crumbs stepped on feet. You're right, it's just the crumbs. Because the crumbs. You get what I'm saying? Because, like I said, far from the metropolitan city, né?
Yes.
Here's why I raised that issue. And it talks about, it destroys a lot of families, despite that. We'll talk about how the Gussie did, on our other topic on the dark side of apartheid.
Yeah. Which we definitely need to touch on.
Yeah, now we're going to have to touch on. I think that might be coming soon. Where we, when you get a job,
yes, sir,
in the metropolitan, see how far away you are. They will give you a very perfect pay salary, in which in your salary, a big chunk will go to you traveling from the distant Gussie to that metropolitan city where you work. As compared to where someone lives in the suburbs, the Caucasian people took the land, is just basically closer, where a very small portion of their salary goes to traveling to work, right? So they pay you just enough. I remember a friend of mine told me this. Like, they pay you just enough to keep you here.
To keep going back to work.
Yeah, keep coming back to work, and to make sure that you cannot upgrade your life, because majority of your pay from where you are staying is to travel you, is to commute you from the Kasi.
And that's real. That's real. I take 2 taxis to work.
You see what I mean? You have to take 2 different taxis.
I take 2 taxis to work, and I'm just like, I fuck out with it, bro, because I'm just like, I live so far. Why aren't the offices here?
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? And the only jobs that were closed are the mining and manufacturing. And they hired black people to go to the deep lower level employment of those jobs.
Truth.
And you barely see a black person get the managerial position. It's always the Caucasians who get the managerial positions, who are closer to the suburbs.
Historically,
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now, even now, it's rare now to even get these manufacturing jobs. Again, in order for you to even move out of the gas, you have to like work a good 4 years and get a nice proper promotion.
And we're still falling into the hands, right?
Yeah.
Of the plate, of the system, of the classist, society that has been developing.
Yeah.
We want to move away from the Kasi.
You see?
We have that concept. We want to move away from the Kasi to go into a suburb, but we're still playing right in that hand.
And true. You see what other part I like about that? The extremely sad part, I remember a political colleague of mine once said that the bad thing about us is when black people move into the suburb, the value of that suburb drops. Why? What is the determinant of that?
See, that's my problem with black people. That's my
problem.
Right? We should see that. We should see that and be like, fuck it. We don't want this. We don't want to live by your standards.
Yeah.
Who evaluates those properties? When you see these boards, bro, on properties and whatever, who do you see? I don't see black faces, bro.
No. And they come to you and they share to you like, there's a mall nearby, there's what nearby. And you could find that when they talk to each other, and between you and me, there's a very few black people around.
Between you and me, there's a very few black people around. So I'm not sure if that section you want to go in there, boy.
Rather go there where it's just pure white folks. You'll be fine. And like, oh, okay, that's good. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's the thing.
Who evaluates this? Because there are a lot of suburbs where black people have moved in.
And now it's deteriorated.
And even the municipality pays less attention to it. Even the police sector pays less attention. Because we are moving to better places to have better services. Because a lot of people like to say, I moved to the Kasi because you want a better life. We're like, yeah, chief, the purpose of this Kasi was to destroy us. We're trying to move away from it until the government system can realize that we do not want these places. What the government should really do is destroy this place. Either they make them landmarks, or they decide, you know what, black people get out of here, we will just make this industrial, or we'll just see what we do with this area. By keeping us here and saying, this is the guys. Dude, you can live next to a bottle store.
Yeah.
In the burbs, there's no way. You have to drive to the furthest bottle store, and the bottle store is isolated. It's isolated. There's a huge parking around it and far away from houses.
The best argument I've heard, right, when I was like, okay, why can we have like bottle stores in residential areas?
Yeah.
And one of the best arguments for me, what I've heard from one of our own people was, siyaphilisana singabantu abamnyama.
You see what I mean?
Like, they're trying to make a living.
Yeah.
So it's okay if they're turning their residential places into a house of booze, because that's the only space they got to turn that place into that. That's limiting. That's so wrong. Still.
Very limiting.
And that was a very bad argument.
Yeah,
because why wasn't the Kasi destroyed?
Now you have to turn your house into a boom boom place. And it affects even the people who live there. I understand. I've seen houses where the place is a tavern, and I've seen how the kids grew up. It's not really a fun life for them.
Of course.
It destroys them in every way. The education. You go home, you have to wait for the tavern to close. Old men, especially when there's a daughter, old men are now looking at the daughter there. Then
changes the whole complexion.
You see.
Changes the whole complexion. So that was my thing, right? With talking about the Logishi and the Township as a concentration camp, why were they not destroyed? Did they get it fundamentally wrong?
But then again,
Did they get it fundamentally wrong? They should have done something about the Logishi. They should have taken a step about the Logishi. Destroy it?
Yeah.
I think is what they definitely should have done. But I don't know. I think we'll cap it here for now. I don't know what you think, Senshi.
I don't know, but here's one good thing that came out of it.
What good thing
The taxi industry, though, capitalized on it.
The taxi industry, bro. One of the biggest industries in the country, bro.
But hey, we'll talk about that next time.
Oh, it is, boy.
Cheers, guys.
Give thanks.
It's me, Senshi.
Senshi. And your boy, Banana. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate the support on the first episode. Actually, I wanted to quickly raise that. We did quite well, and we'd like to have your continued support, more feedback, and touch us on what you'd like us to talk about in future. And
yeah, watch out for the space. Watch out for the comments, for updates that we might have for you guys. All the platforms that will be available on as well. We'll keep sharing that with you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. And what? That taxi industry,
Hey, taxi industry. And just like how you support the taxi industry, I'd also like to quickly raise that we're also on Patreon.
We're on
Patreon. So we're gonna have exclusive content.
Exclusive listeners.
Exclusive listeners.
God damn, bro.
It's gonna be fun. We'll give you a heads up soon on it. We're quickly working on it. We're gonna have Patreon, dog.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Let's get out of here, guys.